What's up, everybody? DRKKNIGHT316, Robert Wheeler Gaming, and this is another episode of the Round Table Podcast. So, one of Robert Wheeler Gaming's favorite games, or favorite, shooter type
I wouldn't say it's
genre,
favorite games,
is Bioshock. Because he keeps telling me on how Bioshock Infinite's the best. It's so
Bioshock
good.
Infinite's such a
Bioshock
good game.
2 was my favorite, and Bioshock 1 was really good. That's what got me to Bioshock 2. But Infinite didn't draw me in.
Was really,
I thought it was
really
dumb.
good.
But
Really
there's
good.
now rumors that Bioshock 4 has revealed a new location and new characters, which is giving vibes of the OG Bioshock game, which would be good because Bioshock 1 was really popular on there. But it has to do with two factions, and then there's going to be two elemental things like in the first Bioshock. But
before we begin,
are you excited into this?
I'm excited, but before we begin,
before we continue, what'd you bring me?
I got this Rockstar Focus. I found it lemon and lime, so I'm hoping it tastes like a Sprite.
Yeah, he sent it to me too. I don't know, never tried this one before, so
I'm tired of this one. I need one of these,
Yeah, maybe we could do our Focus. It does taste like lemon lime.
It does not too bad, not too bad. Did you put it on the coaster, or what'd you do with it? Where'd you put the coaster?
I don't have a coaster.
I put a coaster over there.
Oh, it's over here on my phone.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Put it on the coaster.
But also, after this drink, before you get into your love for Bioshock 4, what have you been playing?
I have been playing Final Fantasy 12.
You didn't tell him that you finished Final Fantasy 9?
I finished 9, but
You didn't platinum it.
I haven't platinumed it because that stupid jump rope trophy has been getting me. So I mean, I got 100, but I can't do 1,000. So it's
Yeah, you stopped at 600 something.
but
Yeah.
I'll tell you right now, I don't know if Final Fantasy 12 picks up to get better. I am not enjoying the game, which is weird to me. I felt like the remaster or this refix or whatever they did could have done a little bit better, but it's hard to navigate the menus when you're trying to look to see. I'm trying to go and buy stuff, and it's hard to navigate the menus. Right now, I'm stuck with I had Penelo on my team, but I couldn't figure out how to use her in battle. And every time they wouldn't let me use her. So I was like, I don't know whether or not it's because I didn't have anything on her license board of a weapon or anything. She came preset with weapons, but she wasn't in there being able to attack or do anything.
You have to give it commands.
And that's the thing. I turned on the gambit system, turned off the gambit system, but they didn't have anything where I can say attack, use magic, do this. So I don't know. It was
you have to set it to go all attack, full range.
Yeah,
all that stuff.
I'm going to continue it because I've never played this game, so maybe it starts to get better. But right now, I'm not. I don't think it's even in the top 10 of best Final Fantasies of all time. Right now, I think it's weird. The story, I'm not even following the story. I know they're orphans, but it's I'm not even following the story of. So I'm just kind of okay. But I mean, overall though, the maps are fun. It gives me that White Knight Chronicles vibe, where you can go out to the map and just farm and do stuff like that. But we'll see next week.
They have in that game, if I can remember right, there's elemental effects in there that will affect the monsters that you fight, and you have to face. You have to have the different elements or to fight some of the rare monsters, because you got to get rare monsters. So there'll be one, you'll be in the swamp area, and you have to make it rain in order to fight a white chocobo.
Yeah, that's gonna
he'll only appear in this certain area when it's raining or when it's foggy. So
and the problem I have too is I'm using a guide because I don't want to play a blind playthrough because I want to try to get as many trophies as I can without missing anything. But the guides that I'm using aren't good, so I'm struggling debating whether or not I should just use our old school one we got for the PS2 and just use that those Prima or Bradley game guides.
The only problem with that one is because it's not the international.
Yeah, but I mean, other than that, I could probably get through be able to get where I need to go.
Original PS2 one that came out in the US, not the international one. If you opened up one of these red treasure boxes, you could not get Van's most powerful weapon. You had to wait until you got to towards the end of the game, there was 4 red charger boxes that you can, and then like at the end, there was like this beach level, and there was like 20 red charger boxes. So then it was trying to troll you on it. And that's how you could get his most powerful. But they never had this gambit system, so each character was a specific class.
And of course, the class I picked was a monk for Van. But, people, like, I was looking online, they're like, you should make him into this and this. And I'm sitting there, and I'm like, it's overwhelming, because it's like, so what if I don't do it right? But can I play with anybody in order to? So
you can with this gambit system that they made there, you can be whatever you want and do whatever damage you want and do whatever weapon. The only problem like with it is you learn it at different times with the characters. So it's not like not everybody can be a monk like right away. They're already set to like a little area where they want you to be like when you get I think her name is Ash.
Yeah.
She looks kind of like
she was the
Lightning.
one who got married. They showed at the beginning.
Looks kind of like Lightning. She's supposed to be a knight. That's how she was in the OG one. So she's gonna lean in the gambit system more towards the knight and getting into like.
So when I choose her class, I should choose her as a knight.
You should,
and see,
but you don't have to. She'll be closer to the gambit where she'll learn abilities for like the knight and stuff like that. The only thing I
don't like about this monk in the system is like, I have a monk and I can equip a spear. Monks don't equip spears; they're barehanded, which I don't.
It's because they didn't really think about the job classes as much on there, but. You'll get Bethir and you'll get Fran as well, and you'll get all these other ones, and then you'll get a bunch of guest characters in this game that doesn't really join the team, but you can like level them up. It's a really good game.
So that's what everybody says, but I'm not enjoying it.
No, it's not like the best in my opinion, because like I think Final Fantasy 9 is better than 12.
Don't get me started there.
But it's a really good game. It's something different because since you can't control them, like they're all automatically just go and do whatever you want. Like you just pick the commands and stuff.
I haven't experienced that yet.
And so they'll go on and do whatever they want. It was because it's kind of like Final Fantasy 11 at that time.
Maybe what you need to do, you need to show me when, when I'm playing it. And I get, because right now, I'm like trying to sneak into the castle, because they got some, excuse me, sorry. They have the, I think it's like who Ash married. He's like trying to take control. So he's sneaking in the castle to try to like stop this guy. So right now I'm still solo, so I just saved it.
Yeah, you're going to be like that for a while. So you're going to do a lot of stuff with just Van. But the one, so I remember that one, because you can, there's this part where, like, if you want to level him up real quick, like, there'll be this infinite loop of this guy keep reappearing, and you can go back over there and kind of, like, learn your moves.
And that's the thing, too, is because you're supposed to get a trophy for the chain system, but to my understanding for the chain system, you get the chain by killing the same type of enemies. But where I'm at right now, there's not, like... So I would have to kill one, go back into a map, kill another one, go back and do that, like, 50 times. So that's...
And you can do that with the soldier part that you're at right now.
Tell them what they're playing, because I'm just gonna bash this game so much.
What I've been playing is I'm still working on Dragon Quest 2.
Yeah.
I'm already, I think, either... on the verge of ending chapter 2 or on the verge of starting chapter 2. And there's only 4 chapters, so I'm already like halfway there. And I'm not living on a prayer. But yeah, so I'm pretty much working on that. I'm probably going to start playing Cat Quest Story and this one other RPG.
Oh yeah,
because we're gonna be doing our
we're gonna try to run. But you know what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna actually try to stream it. So so everybody can like follow along and see who will win between me to beat you. So
what's your thoughts on this Bioshock 4?
Interesting. I haven't heard much about it though. To see whether or not. Like, I just recently been hearing things about it, coming out. But, see, the thing is, though, is they already said that this release in the third entry from about a decade ago. But so they say that Bioshock 4, I'm like looking at this article, they say it's like having a development issues. But one of the things I was looking at, like, this game is great. Like, I should probably tell my story why I think it's great. So, Bioshock 1, I think, was on Xbox, and it came to the PS3, and it, like, eventually had trophies, and I played it. And I like it because I feel like it has a little bit of, like, a religious vibe to it, because you have the Adam and Eve. Like, I kind of felt like that they put that in there, so I thought that was pretty cool. But the story has been great, and when they did 1, I thought the story was great in 1. 2, I thought it was okay, the story, but I did not like multiplayer. I think they got stuck in a multiplayer kind of loop where every game on the PS3 you needed a multiplayer.
It had to, yeah.
Infinite was really great, and you're missing out on such a great game. That game I played through recently. I guess I wouldn't say recently. It's probably within, the last 5 years. But it was a game that was on the PS3. I never played because I was like, 2 wasn't, like, in my opinion, as good. And I was like, oh, I'm not going to play Infinite. And then I started hearing people, like, they did platinum runs and started talking about it. And I said, you know what? They gave it to us for free. Let me try it. So I went through it, and it's a phenomenal game. If anybody hasn't played it yet, I'd say start with Infinite. It doesn't really fit, like, trilogy, or, no, I guess, what do you call duology or something. Mm-hmm. But it doesn't fit really the first 2 games, but it's a great story. The 4, I'd be interested in 4 because not that, like,
they're saying it's going back to, like, the roots of the
not
first
even
one.
Like the development or anything like that. Like, I'm hoping though that they go back to, like, no multiplayer, but they really, like, just go into a story.
Yeah, well, they say here it's going to be like a casino vibe in Antarctica. Yeah. So it's going to be kind of like a Fallout New
could
Vegas.
Could be a district world map. The Solarians could be a group of controlling elites. See, and, like, things like that is interesting to me, but, like, the way that they immerse you into the world and things like that of the Bioshock, like, now you're making me want to download it and play it on the, finish up 1 and 2. But, like, one of the things, the only thing, even with, like, Infinite, I didn't like is they had kind of, like, the challenge mode and stuff like that. But, like, they have cool weapons, cool abilities, and things like that.
It gave me kind of like a Resistance vibe when I played that one. But I liked the multiplayer in 2. I liked it where, like, if you did the Big Daddy mode, where it's like you all go around trying to kill the Big Daddy, but then one person becomes the Big Daddy, and you got to get all the kills with the Big Daddy, and you're, like, in this big, like, mech type suit when you're the Big Daddy, and you're, like, OG powerful. So yeah, like, I thought that was fun. The annoying part was when, like, when you were trying to boost it online, basically you can easily boost it by one person repairs the turret gun, the other one destroys the turret gun,
and then you had to get that ability to make it much quicker.
So you could go faster up on it, so you can get a lot of them during the game.
But overall, I would not be disappointed if they brought out a Bioshock 4. I'm hoping that they do, but I'm also hoping...
I'm thinking it's going to be next gen. It's not going to be this gen.
I think it would be 6, but I think one of the things... What I'm hoping that they don't do, though, is do it like a, remake, whatever. If they remastered them, I'm fine with that. If they remaster them, like, put them on a PS5, 6, or whatever, like, I'm fine with that, because I think, in my opinion, I think some games that you remaster, if you're bringing out 4, you should remaster the first 3, so fans can play through them as they get through 4. Like, that's my thought always on it. You shouldn't remake it, because,
well, I think for, like, a remaster, it depends, because... If it already looks good, there's no point of getting a remaster. Well, so kind of like on with, like, the Tales games, like Tales of Arise doesn't need a remaster. It already looks good. So if you just remaster it, it's like a waste of a game. Like when they did Tales of Berseria on how they're remastering that one, which comes out I think in a few weeks.
But did it look good on, like, if you put it in to play it on the PS5? Did it look good?
Yeah, it would already look good playing it on the PS4. Already on there, so really, like, it didn't really need, like, a remaster. All you had to do was bring out, like, the upgrade thing where PS4 you can play it on PS5. Like that's all they needed to do it. They didn't really need to remaster that one, but like the ones like if you did Tales of Destiny 1 or Tales of Destiny 2, like that thing totally needs a
the
HD
one thing
remaster.
though is like I really wish that they would do one of two things. I think is one. I think they really need a really good co-op game. Like they don't have. Like, I would like to be able to do it where, like, I think of something like Army of Two, for instance. I'd love to be able to have the Army of Two where it was like when you and I would play, and be like, you play one, I play when we go through the story. Like, get a really good co-op like that, or really just strengthen your story, your single-player storytelling, and make a really good single-player game. Because I don't feel like that they have really good co-op games that are, like, tell you a really good story, but also play. I feel like it's more of like a loot shooter.
Well, I think the last one
like
that was good was what was it? It Takes Two or Among Us, the one that you were in jail.
Fiction.
The one that you were in jail. Which one is that?
A Way Out.
A Way Out.
But
that
even,
one was a co-op one.
Like so. A game. I'm thinking of a game recently outside of like like the Borderlands things like that I played that I really liked was like when you and I played through Marvel Ultimate Alliance. Like that was really fun. It was like, okay, I picked my favorite, of course, Captain America, but it's like you got to pick who you liked. I got to pick, and we ran through the stages together, played on hard mode, beat it, did what we could. Like that's what I like. They need to bring back more multiplayer like that. Not something where it's like, oh, I have to jump in there and then you and I have to spend like 20, 25 hours just getting a good build to be able to actually just get through a game. Like it's just fun that you and I can just jump in there. Like when we were playing Borderlands 3, like, yeah, it takes a while to get a build, but you and I were running around the maps doing side quests.
That's what I didn't like about that Strangers in Paradise one, whereas like you had to get a good build, you had to have a good job class in order to like
Monk was the best. But
I know, but order to like pretty much like pass the stages real quick. You know? So it's like it's not really that great. So our next story that we'll talk about is the PlayStation Plus monthly games. Now, before they were talking about how they're going to get rid of PS4 games and they're only going to be having PS5 games. And so this is the first month that they're going to start doing it. So if you see here, people were complaining online that you weren't going to get any PS4 games. It's only going to be PS5. It's going to be short. This is the thing that it's going to be like. They're going to give ones that are both PS4 and 5, and then they're going to give ones that are just PS5 only. Like this Need for Speed Unbound is only PS5. It's not PS4 or anything. But if you look on here, Epic Mickey and that Core Keeper are both PS4 and PS5. So I think it's going to be like this for a while until they phase out the PS4 ones, and it's only going to be PS5. But like that.
But I think that it was funny though because I was talking about this and somebody made a comment that's like Core Keeper is like a knockoff of Minecraft.
Oh, is it?
That's what they were saying. Because
I didn't know.
Because like when I look at the games,
never even heard of the game.
Because one of the things I look at when I look at these games, one like okay, PlayStation Plus, I get them for free, so I'm great. Like I'm happy I get a free game. But then I like to look at the games. I can't think of the game off the top of my head, but I remember on the PS4 era, when they started switching over to PS4, PS3 ones, they had that one where you played that animal and it was like a side-scrolling one, and you do those challenges and things like that. I can't think of the name off the top of my head.
Dust Elysian Until?
Yes, thank you. That one. I remember like getting that one. I was like, this one's probably going to be dumb. And I played it. And I was like, this game was great. Like, I enjoyed the game. That's where I was thinking of myself, like, Core Keeper, for instance. Like, I don't know much about the game, but could it be good? Now, that I get it for free, even though people might be like, I don't care about any of these games. It's like, I got them for free. I download them, put them in my cart. And then if I ever decide, like, maybe I might watch a video of somebody playing Core Keeper or Need for Speed Unbound and go, that actually looked cool. Now I have it. So that's where I'm always trying to encourage people to be like, even though if you think this lineup is terrible, still get it just so you can play it later on.
You'll still be able to get it. Like, I was this close to getting Epic Mickey for Christmas. And well, good thing I didn't because I got it for free.
That's why I heard a lot of people.
And I got the PS4 and 5 because it was really cheap during the Black Friday and closer to Christmas one that I was like, oh, should go get it because I have it for the PS3 and it was pretty fun doing it. It's kind of like one of those like Banjo-Kazooie type games or the Mario type ones like that, but it has to do with Mickey and Oswald. So it's a pretty good game, and so they remastered it for the PS4 and PS5.
Yeah.
Or actually, they call it rebrushed it for PS4 and PS5. So I'm glad I didn't actually get it, but
you get to play once you get through your RPGs.
I know that a lot of people were complaining that we're not going to get a lot of games anymore because they're going to get rid of the PS4 games, but this is how they're going to compensate for it.
Oh, they didn't. That was they didn't tell us though what they're adding. It'll be in a couple of weeks.
Yeah.
What they're adding for like the classics and usually they tell us what they're adding for like the monthly premium.
Yeah.
So I was curious to know about that. But
no, we'll know that in a few. But that's all I wanted to talk about for the monthly games. You can download them starting today, I believe. You can download them. Yeah. You can download them now, so you can play them on there. I'm curious to know how Need for Speed Unbound was. I never even heard that it was
I like
out for
driving
PS5.
games, but
never even heard of
this
that.
one, I watched the trailer of it, and I was on the fence. I was like, nah, I like driving games. Like, when Drive Club came out, I was excited for that. Like, Gran Turismo, I'm always telling you.
Core Keeper, I know nothing about. Didn't even know the game existed, so I'd be curious to know how that game plays. So, after that one, we'll go to the leaked Witcher 3 expansion, which is really weird because Witcher's been out for so many years. It came out, had too many expansions, had the original game with the DLCs that had trophies, and they had the Game of the Year edition that had all the DLCs on it. Well, now apparently, according to a leak, and I think it's been confirmed, that later this year, around May-ish, another DLC for The Witcher 3, that's like a 10-year-old game, is going to be coming out. And rumors are for this DLC is that it's going to tie into Witcher 4. So, if you don't know about Witcher 4 is more about Cersei or whatever her name is, which is like the daughter in The Witcher 3. It's going to be more about her and how she gets her abilities and stuff like that. So if it's going to tie in, it's probably going to be like a passing the torch type thing in there. But this game is super huge for The Witcher 3. Like, it's a big game and so much to do that, like, I never even really finished it. I'm not even in the second, like, world town type area on there because there's so much to do in just the first section of the game. So if you've never played The Witcher 3, which I don't know why you haven't.
I never played it.
This game is really, really good, but you got to expect that it's really, really super long.
I tell you what, let's make a deal. I'll play Witcher 3, you play Bioshock Infinite.
No, that's not worth it because...
I mean, Bioshock Infinite you'll get through much quicker than I will Witcher 3, but I've never played Witcher 3 just because to me, when Witcher 3 came out, it felt like a Skyrim, Oblivion, like all those games where they gave you an expansive world. And at that time, for me, it was like, I'm worn out from all those games. Like, you got to think about how a lot of these games in this era
I think if you played it, you would actually like it because it's more now akin to Final Fantasy 16, where you play as Clive and he hack and slashes and does
It'd be more like that.
It's more like that. So I think you would enjoy it, but then with all the because there was like not like technically mods. I mean, there was mods for the PC, but there was stuff that you could do and like because you'll learn an ability at a certain level where you can rest and like advance time. So what people would do would kill this cow for the beef. Then sleep for the time so the cow would respawn and keep doing that because that beef would sell for a lot, and that's how you could get
and then because they patched that.
Like max money on it. Well, they didn't really patch it. What they did now is you get this big huge boar coming after you and just demolishes you if you do that for so many times.
That's funny.
So they kind of like trolled you into doing it. You didn't think it was going to be, patched or anything like that. And then they also did it where you could do it where you can bomb these like little kind of like zombie pits, and you can kind of like spin around the camera or whatever and keep getting the items on there. Well, they did it where you only can get it one time now, so they patched that kind of stuff up on there. But
do you think though, like, are you a fan of that I know that they pushed in the TV show of this, and the TV show's real successful.
Well, it's not anymore.
But are you like a fan of it where it's like this game's like over 10 years old, and
it's over 10 years old.
You're getting like DLCs instead of just making a brand new game.
Like, well, I mean, they're in the process of making a brand new game. That's why this was surprised that they're making another, DLC for a game that's been out for 10 years.
But I think this is also a little bit good too because the TV show came out. So it's like you could start. Because you imagine if they were like, oh, Witcher 4, and people were like, whoopee, like your game's been out 10 years, like who cares? Whereas this, you got at least a little bit of vibe of like, oh, the movie came out. Oh, I'd be interested in playing another game. Well, we're creating another game. So like things like that. I'm not a fan of having an expansion 10 years later because I'm like, especially if I played through your game, I beat it, I enjoyed it, and then now it's like 10 years later. And if you're a completionist for trophies, you're like, oh, now I have to go back and find my old, like, I'm not a fan of that. I think you should keep your game, especially too, because, like, this isn't a game of like, what do you call it? Like an online game or things like that, where you could possibly bring people back and have on it. It's like solo player experience, but you might not even remember what you did the last time. I think this is going to be for more of people who just picked it up recently and they kind of just play through everything, so.
Yeah, because they had 2 expansion packs. That one of them was okay. The other one was considered a really good expansion on it. That's why it's weird to see this after a decade old. But this is all based off the books, so they've already had all the books done and everything on there. And then I believe the show is ending. I think it's a 3rd season. Because the whole thing is the first season had Henry Cavill as it. But then I think he went on to go do something else, and he was conflicting with his schedule for doing this one. So then they changed his character. I mean, it's still the same character, but it's a different actor that now plays it, and fans didn't like it. So the ratings started going down. So I think they're making their final season.
Who played the girl?
I don't remember who plays all the girls.
I'm not big on these
in this one you can have your love interest to be whoever you want because there's like 3 chicks that he can be dating.
In The Witcher 3, do you play as what's Henry Cavill's character?
Geralt. You play as Geralt.
So do you play as him and the girl, or do you play as Geralt?
You play as Geralt for a majority of it. She's like in training, trying to become a Witcher.
And like, what's her relationship with you?
Well, supposedly like she's kind of like your daughter-ish type character on there.
She's not really your daughter, but she acts like your daughter.
Yeah, but she gets kidnapped in the game. That's why you have to go after who's fighting on it, and so you got to find there. So there'll be a point in the game where like something happens, and then like she ends up you control her through the game, and then after you control it, then you go back to Geralt and stuff like that. But I guess in Witcher 4, he's passing the torch. He's retiring
to her.
He's giving it to her, and now she's like, trained enough that she can go and.
It would be interesting though if they did like a remaster of Witcher 1 and 2, like to bring it out.
Everybody wants that. I mean, Witcher 1 and 2 came out for the Xbox, but it's never been out. You know what? For PlayStation.
If I find that, maybe I'll add that to my collection.
And it's also, I believe, came out for PC, but like never for PlayStation. I remember it being
on PC, yeah.
So, like, people do want those ones remastered so that people can kind of get the full story. Because when you play this one, like, Geralt is already an established Witcher. So, you don't know how he came about and stuff like that. They kind of, like, talk about it a little bit, but it'd be better do. It's kind of like how Mass Effect 2 came out for the PS3. Yeah. And you got basically like the story from like a comic book one. You got to make the decision because they didn't have Mass Effect 1 out. And then later on, they, finally brought out Mass Effect 1 and then did the trilogy. It's kind of like that. So, before we get to the next story on there, we're going to pause there because we'll be pulling a card for all the card enthusiasts. We're going to be pulling this Magic's the Gathering crossover Final Fantasy card pack for that. And you can watch it here on this channel here, as well as in the shorts. What's up, everybody? DRKKNIGHT316. This is the portion of me ripping cards for your enjoyment and my enjoyment. This time we're doing, again, Magic's the Gathering Final Fantasy Edition on there. Did I get anything good? Let's hope so, because last time I got the Buster Sword. Let's see if I got anything good this time here. Let's see. This card here. What is this one, Carlo? The Fight On. Oh, this one's pretty cool. Look. Has Aerith in there. And Yuffie. That's pretty cool. We got this one here. The Chocobo. Oh, this one here. The Magic one. It looks like a Fang. Is what this one looks like. That's cool. And then here we go. We got the cat. It's a gray cat on this one. Oh, we got Ifrit again. We had Ifrit last time. So... And then this one here is the world map, which Final Fantasy can't be Final Fantasy without the world map. There we go. We got the Hill Giga, which kind of looks like a monk, in my opinion. So, oh, there we go. This is Pronto from Final Fantasy 15. Oh, that's pretty cool. And then we got this one here. This is, who's this one? Golef's final act. Oh, that's pretty cool on this one. And then we got this Mage Pixie. Yep. This one here. We got the... What is this one? The side quest card collecting one. And it's a dual one because it's also a magic card. And that card here. And then we got this one here, which looks like the Holy Land. Yep, the Holy Land on that one. And then here's our shiny on this one. So this shiny here. And then we have this one right here. This is we got the Gungaga town again. Okay. And then our last card, the Hero card. And it's also reversed. We got the Horror card. Oh. So, did we get anything good? Did we rip a good card? We'll find out. But if you like more of these card ripping packs of Magic's the Gathering, Pokemon, etc., like and subscribe to the channel so we can get more of this going on. And I'll see you on the next card ripping one. Good luck, and I hope that you get a good one when you rip them. All right, see ya. So, now we'll get back to our stories on there. This one... do you want to go with the one that's like Mass Effect 3, or do you want to go with the Claire Expedition one?
Let's go with the this one. I like this one.
So basically, the Sword and Fury 4 game was already out in China and Japan and all that, but they're remaking it in the U.S. completely different, all built brand new and whatnot, and they're building it from the ground up. Well, apparently they got influence now from Claire Obscured, and they're making it like that. So if you look at some of these screenshots, if you scroll down, you can kind of see that they got the characters there on the side for the order that they go to. And then they have like your X, square, triangle, circle moves that you can do, and you do the different combos and sword attacks and stuff like that. So I just wanted to talk about this one here because... like, more Claire Obscure games, like, the better. Like, that game, which now in the Ethos, which I didn't know it was called that, but now it's called E33. I just called it Expedition 33 because Claire Obscure Expedition 33 is too long of a name to say, but I didn't know that they shortened it to E33. So if you see on the Ethers on there that everybody's calling it E33, that's what they're talking about. But this game looks pretty cool. on the game for being expired by E33. So, what's your take on this one?
Well, I was thinking about this. So, did this just get developed like within the last year or two, or have they been working on it the same, like around the same development time as E33? Because then how would it be like that's what I was trying to think. Is it a coincidence, or did like Expedition 33 become real popular and then they said, okay, we're going to scrap everything and make it look similar to it?
That's what I believe that they did.
That's what I was trying to
because
piece together.
That Sword and Fury 4 does not look anything like this of what it was in Japan. But since they were doing the remake, they saw the popularity of Clair Obscur, so they're building this from the ground up.
Because like I'm looking at it, it says, okay, the fourth game, which is this remake, is being completely rebuilt using Unreal 5 engine. So did it happen that they used the Unreal 5 engine and had kind of the same like the same look to it when they were building their game? Or did they just
Unreal Engine 5 you can create whatever you want in it, but their game looked completely different than it was more of a hack and slash RPG in veins of like Final Fantasy 16 than it was Clair Obscur. But they saw on how popular the turn-based one was, so then they scrapped of just remaking that one.
And I'll be a fan of this.
And then redid it
I'll
over.
buy it, if it looks good and things like that. The same thing when I looked with Expedition 33. I looked at it, I saw it look like this, and I said, okay, like I'll try it. As the trailer came out, the story started becoming real good, and it hooked me. I convinced you to go get it.
Hopefully, this is a nod for Square Enix to keep an eye on this to get their act together, and maybe Final Fantasy 17 will be like a Clair or E33 type inspired game and go back to turn-based, because that's what's lacking in Final Fantasy now.
But Final Fantasy is going to get, if they did like exactly what if Sword and Fury 4 did it, like just did a copy of it, if Final Fantasy did that, they will get trashed in the comments by fans, because a lot of the fans are going to be like, you're just copying Expedition 33, which is like, well, yeah. Well,
why wouldn't you?
Why wouldn't you? If it's popular, it's like then being able to say, oh well, like look at every other game that did Souls-like games. Like, why not trash all those ones? Your Lies of P and all like your other games that made it a Souls-like. Nobody's gonna trash those, but because like Final Fantasy is the pinnacle of RPGs, they're gonna trash it as like a whether or not you're a fan or not fan. Oh, I don't like your turn-based because it reminds me of Expedition 33. Great, I like that. It should be good. Make sure your story's good too. Like. I'm all for this. Like if it's similar, like now if it's knockoff exactly the same characters.
Because if they have like a character like right here, like this one kind of looks like Verso.
This one right here looks like Gustavo a little bit.
Gustavo and Verso,
But that's what I'm saying. It's like if it's a knockoff characters, then it's kind of like they're just pulling from it. But like if it's their own characters, the gameplay is great and the story is great. Like. I love RPGs. I'm all for it. I'll play it. It'll probably sit in my backlog like all the other RPGs I want to play. But, I mean, it's going to be fun. So
okay. And then, so that's one to look out for. It might come out this year.
They said it was supposed to come out. Well, they said that there's supposed to be like a release trailer soon. So
it didn't say. So now we'll talk about the PlayStation 5 ROM keys. Now, this one says it raises concern about jailbreaking concerns for the key. Now, from what I understand, which I'm not a developer, so I don't really know all the ins and outs on it, but this one is different from the, 2011 hack that what's his name, the GeoHot or Geo whatever, hacked the system, and then that's made the PlayStation Network go down for so long and they had to give it to us. What that one was, they were able to fix it with updates. But apparently for this one, they got the wrong keys, which is built into the hardware
itself,
on there. So it's really like no updates can fix this. So basically, like they got the mother key is what you think, or the master keys on it. So basically, they can rewrite the whole system to make it where they can jailbreak it and add on firmwares and stuff like that. And it doesn't look like there's a fix that Sony can do.
Well, here's the thing though. I think it's only for newer PS5 models though, because when I was reading, older PS5 models. Because when I was reading, they were saying though that like the newer ones they can patch it because I guess they use different types of like ROMs, but the older versions, like the consoles that we have at launch and stuff, it's harder to do it for whatever reason. But I did find it interesting because some of the stuff I was reading, they were saying that like you could put a disc in and then basically rip that data and be able to play it, which is what PlayStation should be doing. Now, I'm not for...
Well, I mean, Xbox allowed you to put in your old Xbox games and then
so why is
get
it
a
PS3?
download one.
They were saying that you could do it. I believe they were talking about PS... I can't remember if they said PS3 as well, but like, I'm not for jailbreaking your console, but I think it is an awesome... Like, why couldn't Sony... If these people could do it with the ROM keys, why can't Sony do it? It's because they don't want to push.
Well, I think maybe for like
stuff.
this might be like how the 2011 one was. There's probably an employee or somebody that forgot to go and, put in the security thing so that nobody can get this and like left it open and then somebody was able to go hack it because it doesn't say on how this person got it, but yet they got the ROM keys to do it.
So the leak allegedly uncovered the boot ROM code for the PS5, specifically the disc-based version of the console.
Yes.
So you can effectively, if you have the keys, you can effectively own the hardware.
Yes. Which means that you can put whatever you want onto
Which
the
is
system.
why Sony wouldn't want you to do that, because then it's like, I can't sell you a $9.99 classic game every single time. But I do think it's interesting, like, if the PS6 wants to make headway, and if they want to be, which they're not going to push their classic stuff, because they could release a lot of other stuff quicker, but you would think, like, fans would flock to PS6 if you said, hey, you want your PS1 game? Boom. You want your PS2 game? Boom. And you can put them all and then download that file to be able to play it like Xbox
Maybe
did.
this is the thing that they're going to look into. Maybe they might add that in the PS6 since...
I think they should.
Since you said that they're... somebody said that you can just do that by burning it onto a disc and stuff like that.
And if you could now, if the concerns for like the jailbreak, if they're going to go in the network and, start hacking everybody's accounts and things like that, steal credit card information, all that stuff, then... Yeah, of course. Like you should shut it down the best way you can, be able to figure out all that stuff.
Well, I heard that the only fix around this one is that they change the ROM on the newer consoles that come out. Mm-hmm. So with these slim versions and the Pro and all that, like the newer, like let's say it's like CS 1002.
Yeah.
Well, then the 1003 models will have a newer chip that can't get the ROM keys for it, but all the other ones are screwed. Where no update, like the update can maybe like put a band-aid on it, but it's not permanent for like they'll be able to do it. Whereas like the PS4 era, when people were able to jailbreak, all they had to do was bring up a new firmware update, and then it made it where all the jailbreak ones weren't able to use it. But see, like they said here, that they were able to exploit it on the Star Wars Racer Revenge game, which was the limited disc for the game that reportedly triggered for the leak. And that was a classic game. So they were able to get the disc version of that and that's how they were able to get into getting those.
Here's my question though.
it.
So I was looking at this and they say that like this report is an unpatchable issue. So are we saying though that like the PS5 just used the exact same ROM for every single console? Like that they made. Here's the exact same ROM.
Yeah, because
basically the data within that
from what
ROM,
I can understand, the ROM key is like the boot disk. So it's on every motherboard on the PlayStation because that's how it boots up the game.
So how does it then make it unpatchable? How come they couldn't boot? Because you have to take out that ROM.
You would have to take out that ROM and do
gotcha.
it. So if they were to do that, they'd have to recall thousands and thousands and millions of PlayStation and then fix your system like that and then bring it back. So that's why they say it's unfixable, whereas like the PS4 one, they just bring out firmware and they weren't able to do it.
I mean, I don't know. I want to say that it's not unpatchable. I think there's
they can't patch it.
I think they don't know how to patch it currently.
No, they wouldn't be able to patch it.
But then, I mean, I don't know too much about ROMs and stuff like that anyway.
But they said though that now it's possible for a jailbreak PS5 to come out and surface, and people can start selling their ones to put, like all the games on there, or all classic like Nintendo games and stuff like that, which is crazy because I didn't think that the PS5 would be, hackable on there, because like right now it's showing that like Sony is getting a bunch of L's and not a bunch of W's, because with
Sony can't cook, bro.
Them bringing out their systems, and there's like, oh, these games are not performing well, that is Sony product ones, or they're they raised the price of their controllers, or raised the price of the games, and then now they're complaining about the RAM for the PS6, how Nvidia owns majority of it, and now it's going to be too expensive for them to go buy, because Nvidia is going to be selling them at a premium at like 4,000 RAM, and so now they're complaining about it. Which I was like, for that they should have just like massive stocked them right now while it's cheap, and Nvidia doesn't own all the stock ones. They're doing now before it gets too late, because when you do get when it's going to be coming out and you need all this RAM, now you're going to be buying them at 4,000 a pop or 10,000 a pop, where now it may be 200 a pop, and you can mass produce it. Like, yeah, you may not have the most powerful RAM up to date at that time when you're going to do it, but at least,
I can see them doing with, if like the price of the RAM goes up, because when you buy the PS6, you only get the console, but then you have to buy the controller separate, the cord separately, like all this. So I can't even boot up my PlayStation 6 because, it's so expensive that I gotta go and get a new HDMI cable. Like, I gotta buy their specific branded one separately. Things like, I could see them doing something like that as a thing of like saving cost, but
yeah, they'll blame it on consumers. They'll be like, oh, well, it doesn't even come with the controller now. You have to buy those separate. It's at $900 for a controller, or stuff like that. Like, yeah, I can see that them doing it, but if they want to continue to post L's, that's what they'll do, because, I mean, right now, Sony has a big head, because they got no competition, because Microsoft is not even in hardware mode anymore. They're in software.
Microsoft, that's another news thing we're gonna have to go over some other time, but I'll tell you after we're done with this.
But
I think it's pretty interesting.
But like Sony, is now the number one hardware seller and all that stuff like that.
Switch 2 picks up.
They have no competition, because Nintendo's just Nintendo. They're doing their stuff, so they're not even, really in competition. Their only competition was Xbox, but now that Xbox is only making software and putting it on everything, they got no competition. So this reminds me of Sony being the PS3 era, where they're like, $700 for this console, and you can take out a mortgage out of your house to afford this, and like, blah blah blah, and they got all that backlash for being the most expensive console out there, and they thought that they were, the bee's knees, because everybody's gonna buy it because we sold the most PS2s.
With
and
these,
then they got wrecked on it, and
on
then
PS3
had to go lower.
But I mean, PS3 eventually started picking up after. I mean, it's still
one
of my favorite.
Once they started lowering the prices on there dramatically, then they started picking up on there. But yeah, so there's worries on here for the jailbreak on there. I don't know. Like, Sony hasn't came out with a statement on like whether there's a fix that they can fix it, or what they're going to do about this. Because what if this ROM key thing has millions of people's user ID information, credit card information? Like, is this the remnants of 2011 again, all over again? Like, what's gonna happen?
That's the
like,
thing I'm curious to know.
Sony needs to come out and with the statement on
if it's in like every console, then can they take that and like access the network, and then you know what I'm saying, like get to the network to get everybody. If it's just console specific, then it might be a little bit more work of, people are going to want the keys to be able to play whatever game they want. Like, is it a jailbreak that they're looking at to where it's like going to affect every player?
It's going to be every console. Every console has
that
RAM in it.
That's where I think it's concerned. But is it every console where RAM? So like, if you downloaded these codes, like if this person released the codes, like it wouldn't affect you and me. because then I can just play, you know, whatever game? Or would it affect, like, more people start downloading this, then they can get into everybody's account and start stealing information?
What it seems like is the ROM keys, the mother load, so they can do whatever they want now with this key, and it could potentially affect everybody's PS5 if they wanted to, because
I'd be concerned.
they can, you know, do this and make it like come out with an update, let's say, and you're thinking, oh, it's a Sony update, okay, well, I'll download it, and then you download it, and then now they have access to your system. Like, you don't know what this ROM key has. I mean, it may just only not be in like the security issues of everybody's information. It may just only be that
like console specific.
Well, not console specific, but like it only has the keys to where it can read any like disc or whatever like that. And so where it's mainly just for like the software stuff, but it doesn't have like your PSN or anything like that. Like, it may only just be that. We don't know. And since Sony's not coming out with a statement, it's probably really, really bad for Sony, because if it was not that big of a concern, they probably would have came out with a statement saying, yeah, we have a fix, we got a workaround. But right now, Sony's silent on it. So it's something to be concerned about. So, yeah. So our last story that we're talking about is this interview of a game that's called The Expanse Osiris Reborn. They say that this game is supposed to be kind of like a love letter to Mass Effect, kind of be like the next like iteration of the Mass Effect game, which I'm a big fan of Mass Effect. I loved all the Mass Effect games, even the Andromeda one. Yeah, thank you. I couldn't think of that name. That one, like, that wasn't the best of it, but at least it was more Mass Effect, getting into that kind of story, the relays and all that kind of stuff like that. So if this game kind of gives me that vibe of Mass Effect,
it looks
like,
good. Like,
I'm all for. Like, I liked Mass Effect games, and I thought that they were really fun, and the story was really good. So
that's pretty much the only one they got.
Yeah, if we can get more of that, and you get to create your different characters and whatnot like that, like, I'm for that. That's good, because
it looks pretty cool. I've never heard of this game.
We may never get a Mass Effect 4 on there, because I mean, like, look how long it took for Dragon Age, and then that game bombed. So I mean, do we really want that Mass Effect to bomb?
Well, Mass Effect
with the
3
way that
went to a different direction. 2 was when I started getting into it, because they gave it to us free on the PS Plus, and it was a great game. And then I never played 3 because they went off the rails with 3. So,
well, I think they went off the rails more with Andromeda than 3. But
I played Andromeda though.
Yeah,
it's good. I like it.
But yeah. So I think that since we're never probably gonna get a 4, or if we do, like, I mean, is it really gonna be that great? Because like EA and
what they're going through right
the
now,
Ravensoft or whatever, the one that created it, like, they're not doing so hot right now. I mean, maybe it might change since Saudi Arabia bought EA. Like, maybe it might change and we might get Mass Effect 4 like greenlit faster. We don't know there, but having a game that's like a love letter or spiritual successor to Mass Effect is all good. Because I mean, look at Yudian Chronicles. It's exactly the same as Suikoden 2.
That was a good game.
And it was the creator of the Suikoden franchise that did his love letter to Suikoden 2. But if you played Suikoden 2 and Yudian Chronicles 100 Heroes back to back, it's pretty much exactly the same game, just with different characters. So if this is gonna be more like that, I'm for it.
I don't know, like, so I'm reading some of the article. They mentioned play styles. So on this one, it says you could be a player who's focusing a lot on abilities and building up around the use of different abilities and synergies between them. But they also mentioned somewhere up here that it could be similar to like a Souls-like. I hope it's not, because I don't think that type like works, especially because when you have sci-fi things like that, it should be more story driven, not like a Souls-like where it's going to be story driven, but then I'm dying too many times and then I don't even care to play your game anymore because it's too hard for me, because, you know, I can't get good. But it's like things like that. I don't think I'm starting to get tired of these Souls-like games, because I think you ruin the experience for like, I don't know. I don't think you have a good like single player. I don't learn anything to adapt to where like I die so many times and I'm like, well, where's the weapon that can help me? And then it's like, oh, it's somewhere like I gotta like I'm not for the adapting a play style. So
Well, they were saying up on here that the Souls like it would be like they said here, but instead of finding the weapon that feels right for you, for example, you're not feeling great with the great huge katana sword because they're slow, but you're feeling great with the light, very fast weapon. Go for it. It's same here. Find the weapon you like and build upon that. So that's what they're talking about. The Souls like.
Yeah.
It's not going to be like
I'm
running to
hoping-
bonfire to bonfire to.
But that's what I'm hoping
turn
it's
in
not
all
like,
your stuff like that.
It's not like, oh, you run and then like, oh, I got all these resources and then, oh, you know, you made one mistake. I died by this guy. Lose all my resources. Now I got to rebuild those resources again.
I think what they're saying is it's going to be more kind of like Andromeda, where if you kind of play the story mode on it, it's like if you like the shotgun, then you're going to get like you're going to get the shotgun, but then you're going to get like level 2 shotgun, and then a level 3, and it'll go up to like a max shotgun, where then now it does like all this crazy stuff on it.
Mm-hmm.
So I think that's what it's going to be like, where it's like, oh, if you're sick of playing the shotgun, but you want to play with this rail gun, now you can do that, but it's going to be a level 1.
It would be
and not do that
though.
and build it up. So
I
I
mean,
like how Andromeda.
If a demo
was.
comes out, I'd be interested to play.
Mm-hmm.
So,
But yeah, so that's a really like I wanted to show off this game here because I don't think a lot of people are talking about this game,
mm-hmm.
and there's tons of Mass Effect fans out there, including one here.
Well, you know,
so,
if this company ever wants to give you a code to be able to test it out,
yeah, they could.
they can always you know, Owlcat Games can always give you a code to test it out and give you a review.
Yep,
So.
I'll give them my honest review, and that goes for any of the companies out there that want people to review their stuff. You know, you give it to me, I'm gonna give you an honest review. If your things suck, I'm gonna tell everybody on the channel like this thing sucks. If it's good, I'm gonna tell you it's good and why it's good. But yeah, this is all the stories that we have there. So hopefully that you enjoyed this segment with us on there, and well, you know, looking forward to the next episode where we give more news to you guys on there. And like always, I'm DRKKNIGHT316. This is Robert Wheeler Gaming, and this is the Round Table Podcast. We'll see you on the next one.
Have a good one. God bless you guys.
Yeah, have a good one.
Take it easy.
Yep.
Massive.